Hello, everyone, and welcome to ROKStudios. I'm Stan Miller. I'm PR and Analyst Relations Manager for Rockwell Automation in the EMEA region. And I'm joined today by Nicola Iovine. He is the Digital Engineering Commercial Portfolio Manager for Rockwell Automation. Nicola, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Stan. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here as usual.
So, today we're here to talk about the journey from automation to autonomy and how AI is rewriting the future of industrial engineering. This is a great topic, so let me just get right to it. We're hearing a lot about this journey, right? From automation to autonomy, systems that learn, they don't just execute. In your view, what forces are making this shift happen? And what's going to differentiate the leaders versus the followers over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, that's a trend that we see in the market. So shifting from automation to autonomy, and I think there are two key factors which are driving this shift. So the first one is the workforce is aging. So there isn't enough skilled engineers in the market to replace decades of experience. And the second one is that the competitive pressure is becoming higher than ever, which means that company wants to produce more, wants to produce faster and with less resources. So definitely the traditional automation is not enough to execute and to achieve this target. So and what we see that over the next 3 to 5 years, the leaders will differentiate themselves by adopting technologies like AI earlier and programmatically. So meaning that they will create internal expertise, they will become more agile, and they will reduce engineering cycle, while the followers will simply wait for proven solutions. And until then, the I will say that the gap in speed and performances will be already significant.
That's a great foundation for our discussion. Let me ask you, across industries, generative AI is increasingly positioned as a lever for cycle time and productivity gains, exactly what you were talking about, right? When the drive for productivity. Where do you see the biggest opportunities in applying AI to engineering work? And what should executives measure to know that it's working?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest opportunity is engineering productivity when it comes to design, programming, configuration, documentation. Uh, if you look at those tasks, those are really time-consuming tasks, which are typically manual and repetitive tasks. So generative AI can definitely help in accelerate those tasks, which means that engineers can focus on system optimization, system architecture, and the application expertise, where really the humans bring value. In terms of execution and success of implementing in generative AI, definitely it's something that we can measure through business outcomes. So if I will say that if AI is able to give more time to engineers to focus on solving the higher value problems, then it means that AI is working.
Nice. Nicola, you've touched on the workforce element. Many leaders are cautious about AI's impact on the workforce. What does human-centric AI look like in industrial engineering, and how can organizations use AI to preserve that precious institutional knowledge while also upskilling that next generation?
Yeah, that's let me say the most common fear that I see typically when we talk about AI, right? So you see many conferences like AI is replacing a lot of engineering jobs, but I think AI is not about substitution or replacement, but it's about augmentation. It means that AI can really give the engineers more time to basically focus on the higher value problems to solve, on the application expertise where, like I said, humans bring value. But also, it's going to be really important to upskill and onboard very, let's say, in a faster way, the new talents, because we give them more easily access to those data. Um, And then definitely I think that the measure of success is the business impact that AI will have on the engineering workflow, because that's where AI can bring a lot of value.
Nicola, in industrial environments, trust includes safety and cybersecurity, right? So, not just model accuracy, how should leaders think about governance for AI embedded into mission critical workflows, and what principles can help those teams scale responsibly without slowing down the innovation that you're talking about?
Yeah, that's. I think AI is such a powerful tool, and it brings a lot of benefits. But I think this one is really the most critical part, because at the end of the day, we talked about AI as a system that needs to learn, to adapt, and instead of just executing, right? So an AI to be more, let's say, powerful and more accurate, you need to train it, right? So which means that the more data you give access to, the more accurate will be the AI and the better performances you can get, right? So then when it comes to accessing data, it's also about confidential data. And then in this case, like safety and cybersecurity go hand in hand. So I think we need to find a balance between the AI adoption by, let's say, protecting the confidential data and working into a safe environment. So that's going to be like the tricky part and the balance that the companies need to find.
Nicola, many companies can run an AI pilot, but fewer can operationalize it, particularly when we're talking about across multiple sites and teams. What operating model changes are most critical to move from experiments to that sustained value?
Yeah. So yeah, indeed, actually, executing, let me say, the a pilot is kind of an easy job. Okay. I think probably the most difficult thing is first of all identifying the right pilot. And how you identify the right pilot is about identifying the main challenges of the company and also the business outcome that you want to get out of it. And then the other point is, of course, scaling it into the organization. Now, if you look at a machine builder, so the main challenge is really reducing engineering cost, reducing engineering time, which also means faster time to market. So, which means that they are able to produce more and produce their machine faster. Now, if AI is able to demonstrate, let me say, in a pilot, how they can even, let me say, reduce their engineering cost by 5 to 10%, I think it's a great result. And what I'm expecting is that customers and many machine builders will start identifying and executing this pilot, measure the results, and then finally they will scale up into the full organization and integrate AI into their engineering tool chain. So that's what I'm expecting sooner than later happening in the market. Yeah.
Like, artificial intelligence is such a hot topic, and I think you've given our audience a lot to think about. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you, Stan. My pleasure to be here.
And thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about industrial automation and digital transformation, visit rockwellautomation.com.